Still on section 5.3. In this video, we're going to do example 3, which is drawing the lines. So this is backwards of what we were doing before. We were finding the slope from the point, so not quite backwards, but an extension from it. Now I want you to plot this. I want you to plot this point, knowing that this is x. It's always alphabetical order. So it's always going to be x and then y. So it's always, whenever you get a coordinate, it's always x, y. It's always alpha order, x, y, z. I always think x, y, z. We don't do z yet. Z will come later when we do 3D stuff, but that won't be till grade 12. So it's grade 12, x, y, z. But for now, x, y. So the first number is x. You're going to go 5 along the x. X is always horizontal, by the way. I always think x is shorter and the y is longer. So x is across and y is up and down. Y is longer, so it goes up and down. So 5, negative 1. So I'm going to plot 5, negative 1 right here. So that's 5 along the x, negative 1. I want the slope to be 2. But I just taught you in the other lessons that slope is always rise over run. But I don't see a run here. What is 2 over? There's an invisible over 1. Whenever we taught you fractions, when we said a whole number, we said put it over 1. This is going to give me my rise and my run. Slope is always rise to run. So if there's no number in the bottom, then it's a 2 over 1, right? Because we know from whole numbers, 2 over 1, it's an invisible 1. So that's a rise of 2. So from this point, so from this point here, do a slope of 2. So I want you to count from this point 2 squares up. So count 2 squares up and 1 to the right. How do I know it's up or to the right? Positive means up. So this will be up, because that's positive, and run, if it's positive, it's to the right. So up is always positive, and to the right is positive, which makes sense on a grid, right? So up is positive, and to the right is positive. So this is 2 up. So from this point, count 2 squares up, and run across 1. That's my rise and my run. I'm going to zoom in a little. So it's a 2. So from this point, you rise 2 and run 1. So go up 2, up. And from my new point, I want you to do that again. I want you to keep following the slope. So from my new point, I want you to rise 2 and run 1. Rise 2, run 1. Okay, from this new point, I want you to rise 2 and run 1. So you see how you're making your little triangle? This is, if you imagine your highlighter triangle, remember from the other lessons, it's a 2, 1, rise over run. Okay, from this point, rise 2, so 1, 2 squares, run 1. I want you to do it long as long as possible. I want you to fill the graph as long as possible. I always want you to use a ruler, and I want you to put arrows on the end because the arrows tell me that you could have continued the pattern. So now, the pattern continues to the right. Can it continue this way? So now you know the pattern to the right. It's rise 2. So what I'm doing, look, I'm counting 2 squares up. 1, 2 corners, 1 corner to the right. 2 squares up. 1, 2 corners, 1 to the right. 1, 2, 1 to the right, 1, 2, 1 to the right. You can do the same pattern but backwards. So from here, I'm going to go, instead of going rising 2, I'm going to drop 2 and go back 1. So see if you can actually drop 2, go back 1. And look, the pattern should continue both ways. If at this point you can only do the pattern to the right, that's okay. Eventually you'll get comfortable and you'll be able to do the pattern left and right. And I want you to put arrows on the end. So all of this is worth marks. You want to make sure you do arrows and make it as long as possible and do these points. Let's do a few more. So here, try it again. I want you to first step is do the point. So we're going to do the point, and this is x and y. It's always x, y, alpha order. X along here, negative 1 is here, down, up 3. So plot your point. That's negative 1, 3. That's this point here. Okay? Then I want you to do a slope of negative 2 over 5. Now, whenever we did fractions in the fraction section, I used to tell my students, make sure you put the negative to the top, not the bottom. So I'm going to move that to the top so I can see that better. And this gives me my rise and my run. That's the definition of slope. So from this point, I want you to rise -2. What's a negative rise? A negative rise means head down 2. But this is a +5, which means I'm running to the right. Positive is to the right. So from this point, I want you to rise -2, which means drop 2. 2 squares down, and run to the 5, 5 squares wide. So look, from here, 1, 2, from here, 1, 2 squares down, and 5 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count with me one more time. From my point, 1, 2, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my new point. Try the pattern from here again. I want you to go as far as you can. So from my new point, drop 2, 1, 2, and run 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you do the pattern correctly, and again, if you can go backwards 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 2. Not everyone's comfortable going backwards, but at least go forwards for now, and eventually you'll be able to do backwards as well. Now, if you did the pattern right, look, I should be able to take a ruler and go through all of those points. I want arrows on the end. Okay, the circles are where I'm emphasizing it. I want a ruler, and I want it as long as possible. I want as many dots as you can draw. And again, try to go backwards if you can. Get used to that. Sometimes you'll have to go backwards and forwards. And if you did it right, it should be a straight line that you can connect with a ruler. Okay, if one of these points is wrong, then it won't connect. Okay, so try that pattern again. We're going to do the next one. So 4, 3. I'm going to zoom out a little. So this one says 4, 3. Again, this is X and Y. So 4 along the X. I'll move this up. 4 along the X. 1, 2, 3, 4 along the X, and 3 up. So here, that's my 4, 3. So that's this point, is this point here. I want a horizontal slope. Horizontal slope, which actually means M equals 0. Okay, a horizontal line, I should say. It's a horizontal line with a slope of 0. That's my typo a little bit there. Okay, and we're going to do, it's a horizontal line with the slope of 0. So do that. And then here, x, y. And then the slope is undefined. So I want -3 and 4, so up 4. So -3, 4. That's this point. And I want an undefined slope, which means I want you to just go right vertical, do a vertical right through here. And then put arrows on the end. So I still want the arrows. Okay, and I want a ruler. You have to use a ruler. I'm going a little fast because I know that you can stop the video. Okay, and arrows. Because I know you can stop the video and rewind.